There is no doubt that moving abroad can impact the welfare of a family to a great extent. Whether it is positive impact or negative impact depends on the individuals involved. In Africa, women were taught to shrink themselves so they don't outshine the man. Don't earn too much, you will make the man insecure. If you are going to be given a gift, don't act as if the gift is actually coming from you. Act as if your husband gave the gift so he doesn't feel less valuable. If you cook a meal, you are expected to serve the food, clear the dishes, wash the plate, and even say thank you on top of that to the man for eating the food. But what happens when we all come abroad? The women suddenly realize that most of those practices that were learned while they were growing up was actually made to favor the men at the expense of the women. And now their eyes are like this and they want and demand the respect that they so much deserve. In this video, we're going to be having a heart-to-heart discussion about this topic, so don't go anywhere. Adewale posted on his Facebook page a while back, and I quote, "Living abroad is one of the least places where marriages thrive." And he went on to say a story of a couple that was splitting up due to irreconcilable differences after migrating to the UK and living abroad for just 18 months. This has made me question the foundation of most African homes and has made me wonder if relocating abroad is detrimental to African families. Hey fabulous people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Scholastica, and on this channel I talk about immigration and life in diaspora generally, so make sure you stick around. So guys, let's have a heart-to-heart discussion because I feel like it's been a while since we did one of those. The last time I had a heart-to-heart discussion with you guys was about the things to consider before you move to Northern Ireland, and I've been waiting to have more discussions like that. So you've obviously seen the title of this video, and I can bet that you have a lot of things to say about this. Please feel free to leave your comments in the comment section and I'm going to get back to you. So I'm going to be using my family as a reference most of the time in this video. I'm going to be sharing my experience so far and also what has been working for other couples that have been here for a long time, so that when you come over to the UK, you are not taken aback. The culture shock does not affect your marriage too much. I'm going to be telling you things that work and things that does not work. I'm also going to be telling you about some behaviors that we have learned over time and we are now calling culture and tradition that you need to drop in the airport before you move over to any Western world. So sit back. I feel like this is going to be a very interesting discussion. Now guys, before we came to the UK, I was dating my husband for like, it should be close to 5 years. I'm not really sure anymore, but we were dating for a long time. And during all those times when we were in Nigeria, I'll remember that when we go to the shopping mall and we go and buy some things, fine, he will pay and then he will hand me the bag. So I'll be the one to carry the bag. Of course, I didn't see anything wrong with that because remember, that's what we're used to. We're used to seeing our parents carrying the bags and carrying the baby on their back, and the husband is just walking around doing nothing. So we're used to that. There was no problem with that. I also remember that there are times that we would want to like pay for something and maybe he doesn't have the cash, and I would give him my ATM card stylishly so that he will be the one to pay for it and it will look like he paid for the item. Guys, nothing was wrong with that. Even now, nothing is still wrong with that. But it becomes a problem when the man starts demanding for it to be done. Like he sees it as if it's the responsibility of the woman to worship him and make him a god in the eyes of every other person. So first of all, when you come to the UK, you find out that a lot of things has to change. A lot of those behaviors, that mentality has to change. That is why it is important for you to marry a man that is ready to adapt to whatever situation you find yourself. Guys, when you move abroad, house chores have to be shared 50-50. This is not Nigeria. This is not in Africa where the man will go to work and be like, I'm providing for this house, I'm providing for this house. The woman goes to work and provides for the house too. Abby, she goes to work 12 hours shift, and you don't expect her to come back after 12 hours shift and then start cooking, start serving, start bathing the baby while you are sitting down watching TV. You are just sitting down waiting for the wife to go and work, to go and cook, to go and take care of the baby, and you are just here. Go and find work. do this one. If they say go and change diaper, you look as if the woman is attacking you. Guys, those mentality has to drop. So when you travel abroad, you need to put at the back of your head that household chores has to be shared 50-50. Otherwise, trouble go dey. See, my husband cooks, he cleans, he takes care of the baby, he does everything. When I'm tired and I don't want to do anything, I'll be like, honey, sweetie, boo boo, oh yeah, to the kitchen, you need to serve me today. I'm a queen. I'm not anybody's slave. Come on. Whatever you do in Nigeria and you just come back from work and then you go and drink and waste away your time, that has to stop. Yeah, you have to be willing and open to share the chores 50-50. And that brings me to another topic, which is about childcare. So the problem with that couple that Ade talked about was childcare issue. So apparently the husband told the wife to stop work so that she could stay at home and take care of their 2-year-old baby, while he, as the man that he is, will go out and go and hustle and go and work and bring money. Now the woman refused and said she also needs money on her own and she can't just remain at home just taking care of their child, and that is one of the reasons why they are splitting up. Guys, don't let your marriage get to that extent where it is work in this UK that is going to break it. Guys, work that is everywhere. There are ways that you can go about this without having any issues. Ask couples around how have they been balancing their work and family routine. Now how it goes is that one person has to be on permanent day and the other person has to be on permanent night. Like me, I work permanent night shift and my husband works permanent day shift. We have a 16-month-old, but we find time to balance this. This is how people do. You have to ask questions when you move to a new country. You cannot just sit down and tell your wife not to go to work. Although there are some people that were like, oh, if I'm the wife, I'll be so happy to stay at home. But guys, no, I'm actually not among that school of thought that the woman should just be at home and do nothing and just be taking care of a child. Now, this is not in any way to say those that have decided to be housewives are not contributing anything to their family. But there are some women, those career women, that want to like advance in their career. You cannot just come and tell them that because they have a child now, they should sit at home and just be taking care of the child. That is going to be a problem. This is not your country where you have your relatives, you have neighbors that can wash your child for you while you go to work. In the UK, the child has to be supervised all the time. In fact, if you leave your child at home alone and just go to the next street, your neighbor is going to call police for you. And before you know it, social services are already knocking on your door. They want to take your baby away from you. Guys, you really don't want that drama at all. And at the same time, you don't want to let working in the UK disturb you from having peace of mind in your family. So the bottom line is that don't restrict your wife from working. And the same goes to the wife. Don't restrict your husband from working. Even though you are the one that owns the visa and your husband is on a dependent visa, fine, it has flexible work schedule. But that does not mean you should tell your husband to not work at all and just stay at home and be doing childcare, to be doing nanny. Come on, guys, that doesn't work. So you have to split it 50-50. The same way you split your house chores, that is the same way you should split childcare. So go to work during the day and let the other person go to work at night, and you'll find a way to make things work. Alternatively, you can meet other African couples around your area and beg them to watch your child for 1 or 2 hours until your husband gets back from work. Now, this is for those that are working like in a nursing home or for those that have jobs that are 8 to 8. So it means that before you close by 8 o'clock, your husband must have gone to work. And remember, you cannot leave your child unattended to. So you can take that child to your neighbor and beg them, guys, because this is another problem. Some African families, they feel like they are entitled to everything. If you don't want to stop that privilege, you have to beg them. You have to be really humble and tell them that your husband is going to come back from work in 1 hour time, but you need to go to work now so you won't be late. And most of the time, they are actually happy to watch over your child while you go to work. Now, if you live in a place where you don't have other African couples, you can actually get a nanny or a babysitter. Babysitters are actually expensive, but it's just for 1 hour until your husband comes back or until your wife comes back, and that will keep the peace in the family. Now, moving on, that brings me to paying bills. In Africa, the woman is used to the man paying for almost everything. So the man pays the rent, buys food, pays the school fees, do everything, and it's considered normal. In abroad, just the same way you share chores, you have to share the bills 50-50. You cannot say because I'm the woman, it is your job as the man to provide for the family. And they like quoting the scripture, any man that cannot provide for his family is worse than an infidel. Guys, we have moved ahead of that stage. Just like what Pastor Adejumoke will say, women have evolved past that era. In these days, women will rent the house, they will buy the furniture, they will put everything in place so that tomorrow when you want to say something like, I will send you back to your father's house, you have to think twice, because if you are sending her back to her father's house, she's taking the TV with her, she's taking the chairs with her because she bought them. So guys, let's not digress too much. So sharing bills is a must. You cannot sit down and wait for one person to pay all the bills. You have to split the rent 50-50. Okay, even if you don't want to make it 50-50, one person own can be slightly higher, but it is not compulsory. You don't have to impose that on your husband to say because you are the man, you are the husband, you have to pay the higher bill. No guys, please don't do that. So you have to split the bill. Somebody can be paying for the rent, another person can be paying for electricity, another person can be paying for food. So it just depends. There are ways that you can actually go about this, and you will come to an agreement that will not make one party feel like he or she is being cheated or being taken advantage of. Now that brings me to another topic, which is saving money. When you move abroad, there are a lot of people back home that will be expecting you to be sending them money, especially your immediate family. They will expect you to send them money, and God help you if you are the man. Your wife's family will expect you to pay school fees, pay their rent, buy food. This can actually cause a lot of strain, and then before you know it, you'll be transferring aggression from the family to your wife. So to prevent that, have your own money. Wives, I'm talking to you in this part. Have your own money, have your own savings. Go to work, save money. After contributing to your family, after contributing to the bills and everything, have your own money. Don't wait for your husband to give you money before you are able to send money back home. All these things are just going to put unnecessary pressure on the man. And when there is pressure like that, it manifests in this aggressiveness. There's going to be anger, there's going to be depression, and before you know it, I want a divorce. Getting a divorce is actually very easy in the Western world as compared to in Africa, where there is the stigma attached to getting divorced. In the Western world, being divorced is like a normal thing. That is why about 50% of marriages abroad don't work, because they don't really feel the need to compromise to make the family work. Any small misunderstanding, any small argument, the next thing you will hear is, I want a divorce. And that brings me to the next point, which is don't be too controlling. Guys, see, in this UK, don't be monitoring your spouse every minute. Let the person go out and have fun once in a while. The thing is that when you even relocate abroad, you will find out that your time is very precious. Maybe back in Nigeria, your husband will come back from work and then go and drink with his friends and then come back by 12 a.m. I am telling you that that behavior is not going to work in this country, because everything is timed here. Who is he going to go and have his drink with? His friends are probably looking at their time as well to see how they are going to rush back home so that their wife can go to work. What I've actually realized while living in the UK is that most men back home that lived that kind of lifestyle actually changed a lot when they come over to the UK, because there is no time to do that. That's why I feel like occasionally, if your husband or your wife decides to like take some hours and go and see their friends, don't be too controlling. Don't look at the time and say, hey, he's supposed to be back now, why is he not back yet? And then you start calling 24/7, where are you? Come back. Now, I'm not saying that you should not do that if you have somewhere to be. So, for example, if you have to go to work and your husband is supposed to come and look after the baby while you go out and he's nowhere to be found, by all means, you can call. But if you are at home that day and you have no plans, you are all at home, don't go and be calling and be saying, where are you? Come back to the house, yada, yada, yada. Guys, please. And this also goes for the husband. Give your wife space. See, in this UK, it's very, very easy to get depressed. Trust me, it's very, very easy to lose your social life. It's very easy to have a routine where you just go to work, come home, go to church, come home, and repeat all through the week. And before you know it, the year is done and you have nothing to show for it. So once in a while, go out, have fun, but don't start looking at the time and start saying, and this woman went out since the past 2 hours, she has not come back. Guys, take it easy. In my opinion, I actually feel like living abroad has a way of making the family come closer. Like, it strengthens the ties between the husband and the wife because they have nobody to rely on. It's just them. There's nobody to report to. There's nobody to run to. You know, back in Africa, if you have an issue with your wife or your husband, you can decide to, like, I'm not going to eat in the house today. That's for the man now. He will decide, I'm not going to eat in the house today, and then you go out to your friend's house and then go and eat, and then the woman will be at home alone. In this UK, in which person's house do you want to go and be inconveniencing and go and be eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner? They will even chase you away. They will tell you, man, go back to your house and go and make amends with your wife. You guys need to be working in harmony for the family to succeed in the UK. So I actually feel like moving abroad has a way of tightening the family bonds because you don't really have anybody to rely on. That reminds me of when I just had my baby. Guys, I applied for my mom to come over during that period, but her visa was delayed. So it was just me and my husband within that time when we just had a baby. And this was our first baby. My husband was bathing this child. He was feeding her. He would tie my stomach. He would massage my stomach with that hot water bottle. He was doing everything that my mom was supposed to come and do. If we were back in Nigeria, I don't think he would have done that. He would have been relaxed and be like, oh, her mom is there. Her mom will do it. Or, see, her aunt is there. She will do it. Or, her sister is there. They will feed the baby. In Africa, there's always somebody to help. In the UK, most times you are on your own. You don't have anybody to fall back to. So it has a way of strengthening the family ties. But that is if you marry somebody that you can work with. You marry somebody that does not have that mentality that a man is supposed to do this, a woman is supposed to do that. Guys, it's very, very hard for you to change someone with that kind of mentality. That's why it's better to marry somebody that can adapt to different situations in life at any time without having any issues. Let it not be like we came abroad to find a better life and then ended up getting divorced or ended up destroying our family in the process. I'm actually thinking of having a live stream about this topic so we can discuss if relocating abroad is detrimental to African families. I really, really want to hear your opinion about this. I feel like each case is different, each scenario is different, and there are different sides to the story. There are people that have actually experienced this. There are people that are in the process of experiencing this. There are people that are actually thinking of getting a divorce, and maybe this video is going to help somebody out there. So guys, if you want to be a part of this live stream, let me know in the comment section. I'll really, really be happy. I want to host a lot of you guys. Even if I don't get to host a lot of you, I'll let you know when the live stream is going live so that we can get calls and we can talk about this. And during the call, you don't even need to turn your video on because I understand that privacy is another thing that is really important. So you can make it an audio call and be a part of the discussion. If that is something you would really like, let me know in the comment section. And if you've watched this video to this point and you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, share this video. I have videos like this on my channel. You can check the video about the husbands talking about what it really means to relocate abroad as a dependent. So guys, enjoy. I love you guys, and until next time, stay fabulous. Bye.